Thank you.
Yeah. So, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab to all my eminent community members. A very good evening and a hearty welcome, everyone. I, Deepak Srivastava, welcome you all to the 22nd learning session organized by the PSI, the Public Speaking Institute community, with a vision to bring eminent speakers from different fields who can add value to your life by sharing knowledge and situations they have been through using the power of communication. I take the special privilege to welcome new members and the guests on behalf of the PSI Core Committee. Let me introduce you to the mission, vision, and objective of PSI. The mission of PSI is to create 1 million public speakers by the year 2030. The vision of PSI, the Public Speaking Institute, is to have at least one public speaker in every home who can inspire the family. The objective of our PSI is to promote public speaking, presentation skills, effective communication, storytelling skills, etc., long list. And I take pleasure to inform you that in the wonderful PSI community, we have professional speakers, public speakers, anchors, authors, coaches, trainers, influencers, startup business owners, professionals, and educators as well. Kindly maintain the decorum of the forum and please do not unmute yourself unless you are invited or asked for, and keep your question and answers for the end of the session. Before we start, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Author Sherry sir, the visionary, the founder and managing director of Public Speaking Institute community of around 2.5 lakh public speakers across the globe, and is also pioneering to give India its first public speaking university. He is a well-known international public speaking coach and mentor and has created 15,000 plus public speakers and is on a mission to create 1 million public speakers by 2030. So the mission of Author Sherry sir is also the mission of PSI, the Public Speaking Institute. He is the founder and president of MS Talks India, a public speaking platform given to 20,000 plus speakers across the world, and is 7 times international TEDx speaker, 3 times Josh Talk speaker, and author of many international bestsellers. May I request everyone to please unmute themselves and let's give a round of applause to Author Sherry sir, the founder and managing director of our PSI community. Now, let me ask you a question. What is life? So everyone may have their own answers to this question. At different points of life, one tends to see it from a different perspective. When the things are in favor, the life is merrier. But when the things are adverse, one pretends something wrong. Similarly, everyone comes across many such circumstances wherein one creates a new thought process about the life. Today, amongst us, we have Major Pradeep Khare sir, who is going to take us through a new dimension as he feels living a life of purpose is very important, and that happens to be topic of today's session as well. Before I invite him to enlighten us with his words of wisdom, let me share some insights of him. He is an Indian Army veteran who took voluntary retirement after 2 decades of service to the nation. Being from Army Educational Corps, he was mainly responsible for officers training. He was posted at premier training academies of the Army. He was a consultant with an open university where he was responsible for getting self-learning materials prepared for distance education courses. He is also a TEDx speaker, a columnist, an author, and an award-winning YouTuber. He has been consistently topper in his academy career. He holds a master's in mathematics and education. Sir, very sorry, I was very poor. He is also writing motivational blogs, which are sizable. You can visit on WordPress, The Fragrance of Success. Adding to his kitty, he is author of 8 exemplary books. I'll name them one by one. Real Inspiring Stories, Unsung Heroes, the real stories to inspire you. 101 Ways to Become Better. Game changers, real stories to inspire you. Gateway to the challenging armed forces carriers, torch bearers, and one Hindi book as well, 101 Choti Bade Kaam Ki Baatein. And feeling great no matter what. He's also running a motivational YouTube channel called Guldasta. And this channel has been awarded as Inspiring YouTuber of the Award 2019. Based in Delhi NCR, you may watch his video telecast on Tata Sky channels, channel number 505, Ek Anokhi Kahani. And to add to this, he delivered his first TEDx talk on 8th of May 2021. He is on a mission to make this world a better place to live in. Wow, sir, what a wonderful mission. And towards the end, he conducts interactive sessions with students titled What They Don't Teach You in Schools and Colleges. Let us welcome Major Pradeep Khare sir with a thunderous applause. Sir, we are all eagerly waiting for your inspiring words on living a life of purpose. Please enlighten us.
Thanks a lot, Deepak. Thank you so much for the generous introduction. At the very outset, I would like to express my thanks to Public Speaking University, Hothesheri, and Deepak Srivastava for inviting me on this show and giving me an opportunity to share my views with all of you. Today is a special day. Do you know why? It is the birthday of our dear Deepak Srivastava. And I'll request all of you to please join me in wishing him a very happy birthday.
Thank you very much, sir. I am honored. And I'm very happy to say that this specific birthday is also the birthday of J.R.D. Tata. I am amazed to share my birthday with him.
Oh,
and it was a pleasure to have the Kargil Divas just around the corner. And it was an inspiring session as well.
Wonderful.
Thank
so
you
nice.
Very much, sir. Thank you very much.
You're doing such a great work.
Sincere gratitude.
Now, to begin with, recently I happened to ask a friend of mine, how are you? And his reply left me nonplussed. Cut rahi hai yaar. This answer led me to think whether this person is living or just existing. He's not enjoying life, I felt. He's not liking it. ऐसे लोगों के लिए किसी ने ठीक ही कहा है, सुबह होती है, शाम होती है, यूं ही जिंदगी तमाम होती है. Such people don't find anything interesting in life. They don't enjoy doing what they're doing. They go to work because they have to go, but they don't like their boss or their colleagues. Their life is quite like a boat which is floating on the waves and not having a destination. Well, friends, living a life of purpose is full of joy. In fact, happiness is a state of mind. It has nothing to do with money or material possessions. Let me tell you, there are many people who have immense amount of money, but they find something missing from their lives, and they spend their whole life searching for that something. I'm sure most of you are living a life of purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, let's understand the characteristics of people who are living a life of purpose. They identify the activities which matter to them, and they spend most of the time working on them. They are people who wake up in the morning eager to face the new day. They pursue their dreams and put their heart and soul into everything they do, and that is how they make a place for themselves. People who are living a life of purpose build cordial relationships with their friends and families. They have peace of mind and are satisfied with what they have and who they are. To them, the grass is greener on their side. Friends, Someone has very rightly said, the real measure of your wealth is how much you would be worth if you lost all your money. People who are living a life of purpose are making a difference in someone else's life. They do a lot of things for others without expecting anything in return. They cherish every moment and follow their passion. They're always looking forward to doing something new. Living a life of purpose, to me, means doing something what truly matters to you in alignment with your values and beliefs. I'm reminded of what Winston Churchill once said. It's not enough to have lived. We should be determined to live for something. To know whether you're living a life of purpose or not, just ask yourself a simple question. Does my life have a purpose? If you do not hear a clear yes, it's a no. Most people are sleepwalking through life. They don't feel the pull of any purpose guiding their actions. They're drifting in life by things like work obligations, school obligations, family obligations, and so on. They have hardly anything to contribute to life. Whereas these people who are living a life without purpose spend their free time in wandering, purposeless activities like shopping, gossiping, and watching TV. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the people's president as he was popularly called, once said, dreams are not those which you see in your sleep. Dreams are those that don't let you sleep. For living a life of purpose, you must have a passion and you must have a dream. Let me share with you a real story, how a dream turned into a reality. There's a friend of mine, Ashok. It was time about 5 years back when a new car, Honda Jazz, was launched. He saw the advertisement of the car in one of the pages of the magazine India Today. It was a cherry red colored car. He was mighty impressed. He cut out that advertisement and posted it near his dressing table so that he could see it every single day. And he made it his dream to drive that car, to purchase that car. He went to the showroom, asked all the details, and also took a test drive. He was feeling on top of the world. He booked the car and came back home. Every single day, he used to visualize that he'll be driving his very own car, Honda Jazz of cherry red color. After a few days, he got a call from the dealer that the stock of cars has come and he can come and collect his car. Ashok was very happy. He went along with his family in a cab because he planned he'll drive home in his own Honda Jazz. But when he reached the showroom, the dealer showed him cars of different colors, white, blue, gray. But there was no car of the cherry red color which he wanted. So Ashok said, no, I don't want any of these colors. I'll wait for some more time. Let me wait for that color. So he came back, not so happy. After a few days, he kept on checking from the dealer whether that color of cherry red is available. But he did not get a positive reply. So one day, Ashok became a bit frustrated. He went to the showroom and he told the dealer, I want to cancel this booking because I waited enough and you're not able to get me a cherry red car which I want. The dealer asked him, Sir, may I know any particular reason why you're wanting to get this cherry red colored car? And when Ashok told him the story, he was bewildered. He said, I never knew that there is so much power in the dreams. And that is the time he let out another secret. He told Ashok that when this car was newly launched, this cherry red car, the very car which I put in the showcase here, the company people had come, they had photographed it and sent that photo, which was published in the advertisement in India Today, which you saw and which you pasted on your dressing table mirror. This is the car which you've been seeing every day. And now I've decided I'll take out this cherry red color car from the showcase, give it to you, and replace it with another colored car. So friends, this is how a dream became a reality. And as the author, Paulo Coelho, has said, if you like something so passionately, with all your heart, then the whole universe conspires and makes it available to you. This is what happened in the case of Ashok. The famous American educator, author, businessman, and keynote speaker, Stephen Covey, enunciated the 90-10 principle. It simply means that whatever is happening in our life, the external circumstances are responsible only to the extent of 10%, and the remaining 90% that happens because of our own reactions. Yes, you heard it right. We are responsible to the extent of 90% for all that which happens in our life. Let me share a story with you. Anil was a young man. He was having a happy family, a beautiful wife, a lovely daughter. Aarti was the name of his daughter, who was studying class 5. Life was passing happily. One morning, as usual, Anil had got ready for going to office. He was sitting on the dining table, waiting for breakfast, glancing at the morning newspaper. Just then, Aarti came with a cup of coffee in a tray. And somehow, her hand trembled and the coffee spilled on his shirt. Anil became furious. What is this? You can't even give a cup of coffee? You don't know how to keep the cup in the tray? He scolded his wife. Why can't you do these things? Why do you send Aarti for it? His wife was sad. Aarti was crying. She had been scolded so badly. Anil rushed upstairs, changed his shirt, and came down. His daughter Aarti was crying. She had not taken her breakfast. In the meantime, Aarti's school bus came to the gate and went ahead because Aarti didn't go to the gate to sit in the bus. Anil's wife said, today Aarti's got her exam. You got to go and leave her to school. Anil had no option. He went out, sat in the car and his daughter Aarti was sitting next to him. Now Anil's office was in one direction and Aarti's school was in the other corner of the city. He was rushing because he knew that he had to reach office in time. In between, in a great hurry, he skipped the red signal and he was fined for that by a traffic policeman. This again made him frustrated. He somehow managed to reach the school gate. All along, there was no conversation with Aarti because she was sitting subdued. When he came to the school gate, she opened the car, got out, and closed the gate with a bang. No bye-bye, no best of luck. Anil immediately turned the car and headed to his office. Crossing a lot of traffic, he reached the office 20 minutes late. As he reached in the conference room, he found everybody was waiting for him. Oh my God. He was supposed to give a presentation and he had forgotten his briefcase at home. You can imagine what kind of scolding he must have got from his boss. Well, let's analyze this incident. The dropping of the coffee on his shirt was the only thing which was not in his control. That was 10%. After that, Anil had a choice. He could have remained cool and told his daughter, Aarti, don't worry. It has happened. Be careful next time. He would have gone up, changed his shirt, brought his briefcase. His wife would have been in normal mood. Aarti would have taken her breakfast. She would have gone to school in the school bus. And he would have reached office well in time with the briefcase and given a nice presentation and got a shabash from his boss. Friends, all of us want to feel young, isn't it? Anti-aging creams, cosmetic surgeries, Botox, they're all doing $1 million business. They're all thriving on the human endeavor to look and feel young at all times. A simple Google search of how to stay young forever throws up 375 million results in just 0.50 seconds. We've all seen young people and old people. Do you know what is the difference between them? The best answer was given by Samuel Ullman. He was a soldier, a businessman, and a poet. At the age of 78 years, he wrote his motivating poem, The Youth. Let me share this favorite poem of mine with you. Please listen to it carefully and figure out where you stand. Youth is not a time of life. It is a state of mind. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Worry, fear, self-distrust hurts the heart and weakens the spirit. Whether 16 or 60, there is in every human being's heart a receiving station. As long as it receives messages of beauty, hope, cheer, and courage, so long you're young. But when your spirits are covered with the snows of cynicism and the ice of pessimism, it is then that you've grown old even at 20. But if your spirits are high, there is no doubt that you will die young even at 80. Friends, we have all faced failures in our life. And it's not a crime to fail, but certainly it's a crime to give up and not to try again. Frankly speaking, I have failed many times in my life, but there's a Hindi poem which has infused me with energy and enthusiasm. It inspired me to keep on trying without giving up. Let me share this favorite poem of mine with you. Please listen to it carefully. It might resonate with some point of your life. लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। नन्ही चींटी जब दाना लेकर चलती है, चढ़ती दीवारों पर 100 बार फिसलती है। मन का विश्वास रगों में सांस भरता है, चढ़कर गिरना, गिरकर चढ़ना ना करता है। मेहनत उसकी बेकार हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। डुबकियां सिंधु में गोताखोर लगाता है, जा जाकर खाली हाथ वापस आता है। मिलते न सहज ही मोती गहरे पानी में, बढ़ता दूना विश्वास इसी हैरानी में। मुट्ठी उसकी खाली हर बार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। असफलता एक चुनौती है, स्वीकार करो। क्या कमी रह गई, देखो और सुधार करो। जब तक न हो सफल नींद चैन की त्यागो तुम, संघर्षों का मैदान छोड़कर मत भागो तुम। कुछ किए बिना ही जय जयकार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती। Most of you must have listened to this poem earlier. Can anyone guess who is the poet who composed this poem? Anyone?
No idea, sir, but I have heard it many times.
Anyone who can guess who's the poet who yes?
Harivansh Rai Bachchan ji, I think.
Yes, this is a common myth that it was composed by Harivansh Rai Bachchan. In fact, it happened that
Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan recited this poem in one of the shows of Kaun Bana Crorepati, and people took it like that. But later on, he clarified. It is actually composed by I'll just I just slipped out of my mind. I'll just come back to it, but it was I'll just come back to it and then let you know. In fact, the first 5 minutes after getting up and the first 5 minutes before going to sleep are very important for the mind. These are times when the thoughts which are dormant in our mind affect our lives in a big way. If you want to live a life of purpose, then you should have thoughts of gratitude and well-being during these times. We need to take care of our body also. For that, we need to be careful about the kind of food that we are eating. If we are eating all the fried food, junk food, ice cream, cake, and high-calorie diet, then we should do sufficient exercise to burn out the calories. Otherwise, we'll soon become overweight. Our friend Sherry, he lost 14 kg weight with a lot of efforts, and really appreciate that. I saw in one of the Facebook posts recently. There's a thumb rule. Eat breakfast like a king. Eat lunch like a commoner and dinner like a pauper, which means that we should take breakfast, which should be high protein. It should have all the calories because you're going to work in the daytime. Everybody is doing some work in school, in office, or anywhere. Lunch should not be heavy because after taking lunch, if you take a heavy lunch, you will tend to fall asleep. You will feel lazy and you can't work properly. And so far as dinner is concerned, generally after dinner, we have nothing to do but we go off to sleep after that. So remember one thing, you should take dinner and after that, there should be at least 1 hour gap before you go to sleep. Now I just happened to remember the name is Sohan Lal Dwivedi was the poet. Sohan Lal Dwivedi. He was the poet who composed that poem. कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती. In order to live a life of purpose, we should also have faith in God. I had the opportunity to meet an IAS officer, Mr. C.S. Chadda, in Bhopal. And the story which he told me, it touched my heart. Mr. C.S. Chadda, he belonged to a family of religious people. His parents, they all went to the Gurdwara. They used to do the Guru Granth Sahib part. But Mr. C.S. Chadda, from his childhood, he never believed in God. As he grew up and after he became an IAS officer, he used to say, whatever I have achieved in my life, it is because of my efforts and God has got nothing to do with it. God has not done anything for me. He continued with this ideology until he reached the age of 47 years. It was in May 1989 that he suffered 3 massive heart attacks in 3 hours. And he was admitted in the ICU of Gangaram Hospital, Delhi. While in the hospital, in the next 2 days, he suffered 2 more massive heart attacks. The following night, he was very uncomfortable. He was in pain. And around 3 o'clock at night, 3 a.m., he felt that his body had become ice cold. He felt that he was about to die. With great difficulty, he managed to press the bell near the bed to call the sister on duty. The sister came and in a very feeble voice, he told, please call my wife who's waiting outside. When the sister saw the parameters of his heartbeats on the screen, she was shocked. Instead of calling his wife, he went and called the duty doctor. The duty doctor came and he was equally shocked to see the pulse rate and the heartbeat. The doctor told the nurse, this patient will not be alive for more than 10 to 15 minutes. You don't call his wife, otherwise she'll start crying here. Take out the drip and cover him with a blanket. We'll see what to do in the morning. These words of the doctor were heard by Mr. C.S. Chadda, but he had no strength to say anything. The sister removed the drip and covered him with the blanket and went out. This was the time Mr. Chadda realized that he is coming face to face with death. He started praying to God with all his heart. He didn't want to sleep because he felt, if I'll sleep, I may die. So he was remembering God, asking forgiveness from God, praying to God to save him. Such intense prayers he continued for more than an hour. And after that, a miracle happened. He felt as if life has come in his body. He managed to sit up on the bed. He got up, rang the bell again. The nurse came. He told the nurse, and nurse was shocked. What has happened? This patient was supposed to die in the next 10-15 minutes, and he's got up. He told the nurse, now go and call my wife. And nurse told the doctor. Doctor also came. He was also equally surprised that all the parameters were showing that he's about to die. And here the patient is sitting on bed. After that, another 2 days, Mr. Chadha suffered 2 more heart attacks. But he survived. And after a few days, he was discharged from the hospital. But after that day, when he faced death, he started praying every single day. All the time when he was in the hospital, he would spend most of his time in prayers, thanking God, asking for forgiveness. In 1992, he underwent a bypass surgery and he suffered 1 more heart attack. An angiography was performed after a total of 6 heart attacks, which he had suffered in all these years. And the doctors say that after every heart attack, there's a scar, a black scar in the angiography report. But after 6 heart attacks, when the angiography report was seen by the doctors, they could not find even a single scar there. This was a miracle of God, which even medical science could not explain. These are the ways of God. And after that, Mr. Chadha spends 1 hour every morning in prayer and 1 hour every evening in prayer. And he tells people, all those whom he meets, that you must believe in God. We must pray to God. Without God, we cannot live life. He told me the same thing when I met him personally, and he handed over me a booklet where he had got this story printed. He distributes this booklet to people to spread the message that we have to believe in God. I think now there is time. If you have any questions, we can take those.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody wants to ask anything from sir?
Thank you, sir.
Everybody is overwhelmed.
True. Believing in God can make us to attract anything we want in our life. Through your blessings and miracles, everything is easily achievable for human being. Because we don't need to have doubt on what we want in our life.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was a real session of making highlight on the belief of the Almighty. So Almighty is with us. And when we start to believe purely through that, we can reach the greatness in our life so easily.
Quite true, yes.
Very true said, sir, and very well said. Anybody else who would like to say anything or has to ask anything? Okay, nobody. Sir, everybody is overwhelmed.
Brother, I have one thing to know from Pradeep sir. Pradeep sir, you told the poem in Hindi, but I don't understand Hindi. Can you give me the meaning of that poem?
Yes. I'll tell you. The meaning of that poem, in a sense, is that we should keep on trying. He says, when the waves are there in the water, in the sea, or in the river, a boat which is going on the water, it is not stopped by the waves. It keeps on going in the direction where it has to go. Then there is an example given of an ant. When an ant is moving, if you see an ant, it is climbing on the wall, a very small, tiny ant. It climbs up, it comes down, again goes up, again comes down. But it doesn't give up climbing. It keeps on making the effort. And every time it makes an effort, it goes up. So its effort do not go in waste. The meaning is that the efforts which we make in trying, they never go waste. Another example given in this poem, the second stanza, it says, that when the person who goes deep down, divers, they go deep down the river, in the seas, and they get precious pearls from there. But it is not easy to get these pearls. The diver has to go down several times and he comes back empty-handed. But he doesn't give up his efforts. He goes again, dives again. And after several times when he dives, ultimately he brings the pearls. That effort doesn't go waste. And the third stanza says that when you are facing failure, you should analyze what has gone wrong, accept it, why you have failed, and make the corrections in your efforts. Correct your methodology. Whatever method you're adopting, correct it and keep up your spirits. And there is no reason why you will not succeed. But you should determine not to give up until you succeed. Keep on trying, keep on trying. Like they said, try, and try again. That is the essence of this poem.
Oh my God. Thank you very much for this valuable translation, because I was not, but everyone were like coming, showing their curiosity and giving a clap. But I know that something precious you're talking about, but this translation is very good. And when we start to travel deep within ourselves, we can really find the precious jewels within us. And our smile is a beautiful energy. And thank you very much. You are really super awesome energy, Pradeep sir.
I know, I've been seeing your videos and I've been seeing your Facebook page. Yourself so much, Super Suresh, as you call rightly, you call yourself. This is a very good name and title given to you because you're so energetic. And most important thing which I appreciate about you is you're a spiritual person. You have a spiritual bent of mind. And spiritual people, they always have a divine power with them. That is what I appreciate in you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for receiving your blessings, because your energy is like making me to feel like I'm flying with the words, whatever you told. Because I've seen ant, many obstructions and disturbances are there for the ant to climb in the wall. But even though it never gives up and it always tries with the great energies, they always be as a tribe. Likewise, this amazing tribe, I'm learning very interesting things every Thursday. So I'm so happy. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you for taking so much interest. It's good that you asked the meaning of the poem. I really am so happy that you couldn't understand Hindi and you asked the meaning frankly. Otherwise, a lot of people will just ignore it and keep quiet.
Yes.
But you took the initiative to ask, and I'm so happy for that.
Yes, but I realized the energy from everyone. Even Kara ma'am, her eyes were, and she was enjoying when you started telling that poem. And Rahul sir and Anand sir, like, he was like, and Deepak brother, like, was putting art in, clap. I know that something is there. I know that something was so special. I never wanted to ignore that by simply like letting it go. Immediately I thought, okay, let you finish it. And I need to understand what essence you are like spreading through your language, regional language.
Yes. Correct.
Great, sir. Wonderful nuggets shared. You also shared one of the stanza which says, "Subah hoti hai, sham hoti hai, umr yun hi tamam hoti hai." This is what happens for the maximum number of people.
Yes.
I remember I gave a session at one of the network marketing institute, and over there I added something on this, which people, everybody appreciated. I would like to share it with you also.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it goes again. सुबह होती है, शाम होती है, उम्र यूं ही तमाम होती है, लेकिन इस बीच में जो कुछ कर गुजरता है, जिंदगी उसको सलाम देती है.
Wow, very nice. Very nice.
दीपक से ट्रांसलेट कर दो, फिर पूछेंगे सुरेश सर.
Yes, but brother, I will say the transition, day or night, you have to constantly keep working on that, so the life will give you a valuable option. Was it right translation? I could able to understand bit of the words what you tried to say.
Yeah, it is correct.
Yes.
It is correct, bro. It is true. Because in the life of everyone, there is morning and evening.
Yes.
This is how the life passes on. But in between of this morning to evening, if you do something which is worth, you will definitely get value and add value.
True. Yes, even I'm learning Hindi from each and every week sessions. I'm following it, and because your words are not just words, I can see you're adding your emotion and your heart in the words, so that even I can able to understand. Even I don't know the meaning of the word, through the words how you use it, I can able to get that. Yes, through your mouth and through your eyes, I'm observing the great energy from you all. Soon I will also speak Hindi very good, brother. I am going to learn Hindi.
Great.
So, we will definitely.
Yes.
Sir, I enjoyed what you said. Real value of your worth is your value without wealth. And to live for something. And most importantly, what you said is that, does my life has a purpose? This question one needs to ask oneself for sure. And if you do not get a clear answer, this means that you are not on the right track. And last but not the least, what you said, believing, I believe, is achieving. Unless and until you believe, you cannot achieve. Thank you very much, sir, for the great inputs and great nuggets which you shared among with all. And Kara ma'am and Super Bro, I would request you to please honor sir with the felicitation certificate, as this is what we are giving at the moment. And sir, please accept it with the gratitude. Kara ma'am, would you like to say something?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
सर के लिए कुछ भी कहने की जरूरत नहीं है. सर, आप हमारे स्टेज पर आए, हम आपके लिए बहुत आभारी हैं और बहुत अच्छी नॉलेज दी है आपने हमें. और आप TEDx स्पीकर भी हैं. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, I would like to say that sir is always a brand. Sir is always a brand. It was that he was not marketing himself.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing us the important and valuable nuggets. And I hope we all would take it and use it in our life so that we do not miss anything. And I would like to add that going forward, there are some new big events coming up. First, one of the new event is coming up on 7th of August. That is the I Inspire Awards, where MS Talks, the Shahri sir, would be honoring the people who have done excellent and tremendous and commendable work in their respective fields. That is a wonderful event coming up. PSI is also planning something very special for 15th of August, as well as going forward. As we believe, sir has already said, if you believe in something, you will achieve it. Now, let me say, before we end, stay actively tuned for more information on the PSI official group on WhatsApp, as well as on PSI Facebook, as well as LinkedIn page too. Stay safe, stay blessed, use mask, sanitizer, and maintain physical distancing. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. Till we meet again next Thursday, have a great time ahead and see you Thursday for sure. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye for now. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you very much.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.